Alright, so today I wanted to do a little tutorial on some more interesting mechanics of the Varangian Guard and just other stuff like that. Just an overall moveset breakdown, just a little beginner's guide, because it's very situation dependent. Because her all guard is like our Musha's, you have to in a team fight decide on whether or not they're going to throw it or not. Much like BP, like with a lot of full block recovery cancel heroes, you can just sit in it, or you can just like keep it in and wait for someone to attack you, or you can just not like try to engage with it. But with her, much like VP and Armusha, you have to actually try to time your attacks, which makes her skill ceiling infinitely higher than other full guard heroes. But just a little breakdown, I would say, first of just her basic moveset. Just forward dodge bash, as you know, light, they're all 2-hit chains, heavy, light, heavy, stuff like that. So a mix-up, the main mix-up you're going to be doing in a 1v1 scenario, which you don't really want to do with her, because she isn't the greatest 1v1er, but she's definitely like good. She's definitely not bad, but 1v1 is not where her strengths lie. So you're gonna want to try to open up with this bash, or you want to dodge forward light. Now the reason you want to dodge forward light is because well, A, it's enhanced, which is very nice. All her lights are actually enhanced and have CC properties, same with the dodge attacks. So you're quite safe while doing them, just because you have giant frames of CC. But the reason you want to dodge forward light is not to try to catch anything or to even start offense, because dodge forward light has a little bit more of a tell than just a regular light opener. The reason you want to dodge forward light is because the act of dodging forward makes people think you're going to bash. They're just because they're afraid of this and your chain getting started and your heavies. They're going to want to dodge that. However, if they do dodge that, let me put it to dodge real quick. Oh, well, I caught that by accident. They do dodge it. Come on, bot, work with me here. Oh no, I can't time it right. Okay, let's try this. You can full block after your dodge light. You cannot full block after a bash. So if you dodge forward light into your all guard, you will catch people trying to dodge attack. And if you dodge forward light into heavy, it'll be GB attempts. Oh my god, that throws. Jesus. Whoa. Alright, her forward throw is very good. She has great throw distance. Yeah, look at that. Especially her forward throw. That's like Lawbringer levels. But, so that's going to be your main 2 openers right there. Now, what gets interesting is her chain and blockable heavies. So, light into heavy, obviously, and then it pins for just a very short duration. You get your guard back almost immediately on the enemy side. If you want like in-depth frame checks and stuff like that, like all our lights are obviously 500. If you want in-depth frame checks, go to Freeze's YouTube channel. He has great frame checkers. He's a great frame checker. The Info Hub, which he helps run, is an amazing resource. Always go there when looking for good For Honor knowledge. So, now that that's out of the way, I think it's important to talk a little bit about her hitboxes. Her hitboxes are pretty insane. They are massive and wide hitting. So, like, those are ginormous heavy hitboxes. They have a little bit of phantom range, so they're not quite to the weapon exactly, but she has a pretty long axe, as you can see, and she holds it pretty far down, so she swings it very far. I will show you a little example right here. Hold up. So, on her right heavy, hold up to him. On her right heavy, as we can see here, she jerks her arm very far backward. So as you can see, it starts all the way back here. I go to the next one. can see that it travels in almost a more than a 180 degree kind of arc. It basically, everything on your right side is pretty much absolutely gonna get smacked. Even people behind you. A lot of people's attacks are usually here to here, but she fully cocks her arm all the way back to get some hits in. The same thing happens with the left heavy. Same thing happens with her left heavy, as you can see. It starts all the way. It's not as wide of a range as her right one because she has to reach over on her left side. So it only starts about, it still starts very far back, do not get me wrong. So it starts like back here, and then it does again, almost a 180. Again, this one isn't as large, just because that's not how the animation works. So this one's a little more tight. However, do not get it mixed up. The left heavy is just as wide sweeping, especially with the unblockables. The unblockables are very wide. I think a good way to show this is a little video I have right here. So I'm fighting this warmonger, and as I'm fighting this warmonger, I notice that the pirate is right behind me, right? So we back up a little bit. I feint to GB this warmonger. And now that I have her in my GB, I can hear that the pirate is on my right. And because I can hear this pirate is on my right, I'm going to do a right heavy in hopes that it clips her. Now, because I hear her, I'm going to G heavy. And as you can see, she doesn't have a lot of health left. And she's trying to peel for her teammate so she doesn't get hit. However, I'm too far into my heavy animation at this point, so we're going to at least trade. Now, if she had enough health, she would have hyper armor traded with that. But because the hitbox is just so absolutely wide, it clips both of them right here. And so that's a very important thing. Always be aware of your surroundings with her. When you're aware of your surroundings, you can clip as many people as you can with your absolutely ginormous hitboxes. Now, to get back to her heavies. Your chain heavy, you can headbutt. This headbutt confirms a light attack. There you go. Bonk, bang. And then that is your main mix-up after your unblockable lands. It is quite fast, as you can see, and there's almost no tell to it because you're just moving your head back a little bit and hitting them. So it is a very nice mix-up. You can delay it and guard break instead, or you can just wait and someone might dodge that. Because we're relatively new to release, so this might not be a good tip for the rest of the time, but because people aren't used to fighting her yet, they're not going to dodge that headbutt very often. At least from what I've noticed, people will usually just eat the headbutt, and so that's a pretty easy free way to keep your chain going. Another cool thing about her heavies is that you can cancel them. Much like Conk, you can cancel your heavies midway. Instead of like hard feinting into all block, you can just straight press the all block button, or press down on the right stick if you're on controller, and you will just go down into it. This also applies to her chain heavies. They can also cancel, but they can also soft feint a different way, which is soft feint to guard break. This is pretty common on a lot of heroes like JJ, Zanhu, a couple others. But this is just an easy way to get your guard breaks in, because otherwise you just have to feint it normally, but luckily you have the good old soft feint to GB, so in the middle of the heavy, chain heavy only, by the way, not her opener heavies, but in the middle of the chain heavy, you can just press GB and get your damage in. So her full block recovery cancel has an interesting kind of place, because a lot of characters have something, at least who can have like fast flow, for onto all guards have something called fast flow on block. For example, Kyoshin has this, but I'll show you right here. Normally, when you block attacks, you're able to fast flow after the attack, but with her, you can't. So as you can see, I'm spamming it quite fast, and I cannot do it quickly at all. So she is unable to really do full block like chain attacks very easily unless they're pretty long, nor can she do it on hit stun like our Musha can. So I'm gonna get hit by this first light, on. Come on, buddy. There you go. I was pressing all guard there, and I couldn't do anything. But however, every single other one of her attacks can be canceled. So lights, you can cancel into it. Heavies, you can cancel after it. This is where her skill ceiling comes in, right? Because now you have to make a choice after every attack if you want to full block and stop attacks from coming, or because she has good recoveries, like let's say you hit someone with this, you can dodge cancel out of it. So if someone's trying to hit you with an unblockable from the side of you because they're expecting you to go into your all guard and they're going to get a free easy hit, instead you can dodge cancel out of it to get away. This is to increase her more defensive play style, and something that I haven't fully mastered yet or remember. I'm used to just being able to go into full guard. So yeah, that's it's a very interesting thing you can do instead of just trying to only full guard, because she can get hit out of it with unblockables like every other full guard except for BPs. So she has that same problem with full guards. But here, I'll just try to show you something else too. So her top heavy is very slow. It's like 933 ms, so it's almost a second long, a little bit less. So light attack after first attack, I'm going to light attack her and put her into something called light hit stun, then I'm going to throw a top heavy. However, because of how long it is, you will not be able to, you won't even trade with it, it'll just hit you out of the watch. See, she can just hit you straight, you can just hit her straight out of her top heavy. So, in most duel scenarios, unless they're under a heavy hit stun, watch that, see, she can't light attack that one because it's in heavy hit stun. But what you can do is you can do light into side heavy. This will catch people trying to, interrupt you. So it's always light into side heavy, and after that, then you can just go into if someone's just pressing light randomly, they will not be able to light it, as you can see. So yeah, that's another just a little quirk you have to know. Top heavy is only really good after a other heavy, and because of that, it's pretty much only off of GB is when you can do it. However, it's not that big of a deal because, as you can see, it's only 2 extra damage. So side heavies do 27, the top one does 29. So it is more damage. So if you're trying to go for certain punishes and stuff like that, the top heavy is more damage. So that is something you should go for off of maybe more heavy hit stuns. But because of how, as I said before, wide her hit boxes are after heavy hit stun, if someone tries to dodge attack that heavy, they get caught a lot of the time because they are a little bit slower and they are the widest hit boxes you'll ever see in your life. So try to use side ones more often is what I recommend, just because of their wide hit boxes and it's only 2 less damage and it still goes into your headbutt perfectly fine. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is her all guard punishes. She has quite a lot of different ones because of she can do her light and her heavy from every single side. So as you can see, I do it from the right there. Let me do it again. I can do it from the left. I can do it from the top. Now the top one does the most damage at 20. So if you're in a 1v1 scenario, like if you're just playing duels with her, I'll only ever do the top heavy. The other two options are almost never worth it. You get, because it is a unblockable heavy, let me get it back into it, I can headbutt after it and keep my chain going. So headbutt, and then I get my confirmed light, stuff like that. So that is the 1v1 punish. However, because you don't always play her in 1v1s, there are 2 other options that are very good. So the light attack has CC properties. So if someone tries to peel from a certain side, you can crush and counter it, and anti-peel, which is the main point of a CC, is to not get peeled. So that's very good. And then she also has a zone punish, which she actually cannot fast flow from. So this is pretty much just the get the hell away from me move. It is basically all her entire front of her hits, but you cannot fast flow after it, unlike the other ones. So like watch this, I can do a heavy and then instantly go back into it. I can do the same for the light attack. I can go, oh wait, can I? No, you can't. Same with the light attack actually. The zone and the light attack share that property. So after a all guard light, you cannot fast flow. Interesting. So pretty much just the heavy does. And so that is your main, so that's the main one you want to be going for a lot of the time. Just because if someone's trying to peel and you know what side they're coming from, trust me, they're going to get hit by the side punishes. They are almost as wide hitting as her regular heavies. They are quite insane. And then the last full guard punish that I wanted to talk about is the bash after full guard. So this is sends pretty people far, and you get a top heavy, which is max damage. So I was just doing the top heavy. Under the wall, you get a top heavy. It's the most damage you can get off of it, and you can do it from super close, quite like armor shuffle. Let's see how far it can go. Come on, follow me a little bit, buddy. See how far it goes. It sends them really far. So this is a good legend tool and good for getting max damage off of somebody. Now the true final thing I want to talk about after all the R guard punishes is the bind mechanic. So you bind for a very long time. Bind is the new way they're saying is like what they are after they get hit by all guard. Because normally when you get hit by an all guard, it's a superior block punish. It means your weapons just bounce. In this case, you get put into a special state called bind. Now, normally zone attacks, when they hit something that's superior block, they they won't get like staggered by it. They'll keep going. But in her case, any attack that hits her gets binded, and this includes external attacks. Normally a zone, as you can see, I'm going to CC it. Her attack still went through, while a normal heavy will bounce. However, the zone will make her binded. Now the bind lasts for, if I remember the freeze video correctly, about a minute not a minute, yeah, a minute and a half, a second and a half. This is a way to make sure you always know what's going on around you, and because it lasts for so long, and you keep your guard like that for so long, it'll stop a lot of peel attempts. So you can wait a little bit and then heavy. So that is the main reason you want to wait so long for that, because they're binded for so long, and it keeps you from either getting peeled, or if you're going to get hit with an unblockable, you can just, I believe, you can dodge cancel out of it. So yeah, you are almost unpeelable if you know what you're doing. Alright everyone, that was my little tips and tricks on the Varangian guard hero. She's quite fun, I'm loving her a lot, but I also have put a lot of time into full block heroes. I have 15 reps on BP and like 22 on Kyoshin, maybe 23 at this point. And so I love full block recovery cancel heroes. They're always my favorite. So I think they're just really fun. So that's why I'm enjoying her. She's definitely not going to be everyone's cup of tea, just because she's at first glance basic, because all she has is those 2 hits and the headbutt afterwards. But because of how many options she has out of her full block, because when they're looking at her, these are the only moves they see. They don't see anything to do with her full block, because her full block is just you full block, you do the top heavy, you move on. But that's not the only things you can do. You can E with it, and it's such a cool concept, and not to mention the binds, which last for a very long time. So I think it is very important to see her as she is, with her full block instead of just her 2-hit chain. I'm loving her, and hopefully you guys might have learned something off of this video.